Project management tools, they're supposed to make our lives easier, right? But how often do they just become a whole other project you have to manage? Well, today we're going to look at an open source alternative that says it can actually fix that.
I mean, it's a feeling we all know, right? You spend hours setting up boards, tweaking workflows, trying to get your team on board, only to realize the tool itself is now another full-time job. It's super frustrating. But what if there was a better way?
Okay, so this is a pretty bold claim right here. And this headline, it's pulled directly from the GitHub page for a project called Plane. I mean, wow. They're not just saying, hey, we're another option. No, they are calling out the big guys by name: Jira, Linear, Monday, ClickUp. So the big question is, can they actually back it up? Let's dive in and find out.
All right, before we jump into what Plane can do, let's just take a second to talk about the problem it's built to solve. It's what I like to call the project management trap, that feeling when the tool you're using to organize the work becomes the work.
And this is really the heart of the struggle, isn't it? We're all just trying to get from chaos to clarity. The whole point should be simple: track some issues, run a few sprints, plan out your roadmap. But way too often, we just end up being glorified software admins. A good tool should let you focus on the work, not the workflow.
Okay, so we've got the problem locked in. Now, let's meet the alternative that's been making a ton of noise in the open source world.
So what exactly is Plane? Well, you can think of it as an all-in-one platform. It's designed to handle a project's entire lifecycle, from that first little spark of an idea, what they call triage, all the way through organizing tasks, running sprints, and even writing up the documentation at the end.
That sounds like a lot for one tool to handle, right? So how does it actually pull all that off? Let's take a quick tour of the key features that make Plane tick.
Everything really starts here with what they call work items. And you can think of these as tasks, but on steroids. You're not just stuck with a one-line title. Nope. You get a full, rich text editor, you can upload files, you can add custom properties, and even link issues together. It's really the fundamental building block for everything else in the system.
Now, if you're on an Agile team, you're going to love this. Plane has a feature called cycles, which is basically their name for sprints. And the cool thing here isn't just planning the work, it's tracking it. They've got built-in burn-down charts, which give you this really clear visual way to see how your team is doing. It helps you catch problems before a sprint completely derails.
Okay, but what happens when a project just gets huge? You know the kind I'm talking about. That's where modules come into play. It's a really simple but super powerful idea. You just break down a massive project into smaller, more manageable parts. Suddenly, everything is so much easier to organize, track, and figure out who owns what.
This next feature, views, is all about cutting through the noise. I mean, nobody wants to look at a list of 1,000 tasks, right? So instead, you can create these custom views with your own filters. Maybe you just want to see tasks assigned to you that are due this week. Or maybe all the high-priority bugs. You create that view, save it, and you can even share it with your team. So handy.
All right, now this is where things get really, really cool. Plane has a built-in document editor called Pages. Think of it like an internal wiki for your project specs or meeting notes. But here's the magic trick. It has AI built in, so you can take all those messy, unstructured notes, and the AI can help you turn them into actual, actionable tasks. How awesome is that?
And last but not least, we've got analytics. Plane gives you this real-time dashboard showing the health of your project. And the key here is real-time. You're not just looking back at what went wrong last week, you're actually spotting bottlenecks and problems as they're happening, so you can step in and keep everything on track.
So yeah, the features are definitely impressive, but that's not the whole story. What really makes Plane different from a lot of the big players out there is its foundation. It's 100% open source.
If you peek under the hood, you'll see Plane is built on some really modern stuff, mostly TypeScript and Python. Now, why should you care? Well, it means the project is way easier to maintain and scale. Plus, it makes it easier for a whole community of developers from around the world to contribute, which helps make sure it doesn't get stale or outdated. And this number, 43.6K. What is that? Well, that's how many stars the Plane project has on GitHub. In the open source community, stars are basically a big thumbs up, a vote of confidence. So having over 43,000 developers and users say, hey, this is cool, that's some massive social proof. It really speaks to the project's quality and its potential. Okay, so maybe you're intrigued. You see the potential here. The next logical question is, how can I actually get my hands on this and try it out? You basically got two main options here. First, there's Plain Cloud. That's the super fast, easy way to get started. They handle all the servers and the setup, so you don't have to worry about any of the technical stuff. Or, if you're someone who wants total control over your data and your infrastructure, you can self-host it on your own servers. It really just comes down to a choice between convenience and control. And remember, because this is open source, you're invited to be more than just a user. These projects live and breathe because of their community. And you don't even have to be a coder to help out. Things like reporting bugs, helping improve the documentation, or even just talking about Plain, it all makes a huge difference.
So it all comes back to this one simple question. We started this whole conversation talking about the frustration of our tools becoming just another job. Plain offers a really powerful, modern, and open alternative to that. So the only question left for you is, are you ready to get back to managing the project and not the tool?